With just a few weeks to go before the French election, Europe remains on the front burner and the euro along with it. Joining me today to offer some perspective is senior currency strategist Jim Martens, who edits Elliott Wave International's Currency Pro service. Hi, Jim. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to be with you, Alex.
So, Jim, what are you looking at big picture for euro dollar?
Well, we're at an interesting juncture here in euro dollar, and what I'd like to draw your attention to first, Alex, is a pattern that occurred some years ago, and it was years in the making. And it's really this triangular pattern that I've highlighted here, and that's what we call, using the wave theory, that was a bearish contracting triangle, because you can see the horizontal lines contract, or they come together as the lines are drawn across the page. Now, we had it end here on a day when the ECB had a vote about rates, and you can see what happened at the end of the consolidation. This easily identified strong and extended decline to new lows. So I showed you that in order to show you this, and that is a similar pattern over the short term. And we can see that euro dollar is already breaking to new lows. In fact, just recently, it satisfied our minimum expectations by moving beneath this low, which was around 103 and change. So we took that low out. So it satisfied minimum expectations. So the question then is, where's it going next?
So narrowing the focus a bit, how about over the next few weeks into month end? How's it looking?
Okay, well, here's that consolidation I just highlighted right here. So that's a corrective pattern, as I mentioned, a contracting triangle. And what we've seen recently since the start of this year is this recovery. And notice that it's in three waves. And when we use the wave principle, a three-wave move is considered a correction. So that's what we're calling this rise, and we've been bearish ever since this high, up around 109.05. And as you can see, the subsequent decline, while strong, has not reached a new low. So we're still looking to the downside for euro dollar. The next major hurdle being right around 105. As soon as it takes out that low, that'll pretty much confirm what we already believe. Euro dollar's headed down to new lows. And you mentioned the French election, and it's interesting because the end of the contracting triangle that we saw occurred right there, which was the evening of the US election last November.
So, Jim, let's switch gears a bit to a related market, cable. It certainly set the table for volatility last year. So how's it looking to you in 2017?
Right. Well, last year, the big event was another vote, and that was Brexit. And that's this area right here. And this is where the vote was taken, right around where the market topped, right about 150. And you can see what happened afterwards, that straight line decline, which was really just a continuation of a decline that's been underway for quite some time. So with that in mind, we have to ask ourselves, have we seen a pattern that suggests a bottom is in place? And if you look over on the right-hand side of the pattern, I'm going to draw similar trend lines to what I just have been drawing for euro dollar right there. We see this sideways consolidation along the low of the chart, which suggests that we've seen another pause within the ongoing decline. So we're looking for cable to follow euro dollar to the downside.
Now, one last market to touch on today. Aside from the raging housing bubble in Toronto, Canada has not been getting a lot of headlines as of late. So how's the trajectory for the loonie look?
Well, it's interesting, and this is one market we haven't talked about in quite some time. And I don't have a triangle to show you, but what I do have to show you is that there was a long run-up by the US dollar into this top. And what I'd like to point out is price action before that top, price action after that top. Notice before the top, the rallies here, here, here were quite sharp. It left little doubt about the dominant trend. Now, once the market peaked, we've seen a similar type decline here. So that suggests first that a turn has occurred. No surprise there. But to bolster that idea, the subsequent price action, which has been a recovery, but notice how difficult the rise has been. It's overlapping, choppy, certainly without a dominant or without a strong direction, unlike those other moves we highlighted earlier. So we see that as a correction. Now, I don't think it's complete just yet. The overall outlook for the strong US dollar suggests this could continue a bit higher, but not much before this trend that started here resumes. So again, this one's bucking the trend a little bit at top before, the dollar peaked versus the loonie a little bit before it's going to occur versus the euro and sterling, but it's still tracking along the others right now.
Well, Jim, thanks for talking today and offering your perspective. With Elliott Wave International hosting its popular Pro Service Open House this week, offering free forecasts for over 50 markets, it's been great to get a little preview of what you're looking at across the board.
It's been my pleasure, Alex.